who think that there were pagan myths of dying and rising deities are like dinosaurs today. Hardly anybody believes that there were such things. When you look at these supposed parallels, they turn out to be spurious and concocted. And in fact, there's nothing in pagan mythology comparable to Jesus' resurrection. So this is just misinformation that's disseminated in popular media that isn't characteristic of scholarship on ancient mythology and religion.
Now, y'all heard him correctly. He said that people's belief in pagan mythological people resurrecting is tantamount to the belief that dinosaurs existed. And he's saying that people don't believe that dinosaurs existed, when I would wager that over 95% of the world accepts the fact that dinosaurs existed, mainly because we have found the fossilized remains of dinosaurs. Not many of those dinosaurs are found to be total and complete. I believe there was only one or two that was total and complete, but yet we do recognize that dinosaurs existed. Now, on to the matter to which he has spoken of the people believing in ancient deities rising from the dead. He is all but incorrect. The first part of it is saying that people don't believe this, and that people don't believe this today, and that would be correct. Most people don't believe in many of the ancient religions, people rising back from the dead, because most of those religions are considered to be dead religions, meaning that there are not a sufficient amount of people who are practicing those said religions. But there are some religions today that are still worshipped, still practiced by a large enough community to make it a valid religion for today's time frame, where people believe that there is either a deity died and rose, or a messiah type, or a coming back of that person within that religion. So we're going to look at a couple of them. Some I'm going to give you a little bit more information on. Others I'm just going to name them. So one of the first persons that I'm going to name is Osiris. Yes, many people call him Asar, which is his true Kemetic name. But in the story of Asar, he was tricked by his brother Seth, and then he died. And after some magical flammery, his wife, Isis, or Aset, with the help of Thoth, was able to bring him back to life, but only brought him back to life momentarily so that she can hover above him and get pregnant and have their son Heru, or otherwise known as Horus. So this is a Messiah type because he is the king of the underworld. He is the person that you would go and live the rest of your life with if you have the correct amount of spells to get to the scale, to be able to get to the point where your heart is measured against the scale of Mayat, and the feather of Mayat, and then you will enter into the field of reeds, where you will live all eternity in bliss, doing the same type of shit you was doing here with Asar. So he is a risen savior. In the Mayan or Aztec religion, Quetzalcoatl is a dying and rising Messiah type, because Quetzalcoatl is supposed to return. And in his story, Quetzalcoatl was tricked into drinking some type of poisonous drink. And then after he realized that, he self-immortalized, died, and then was risen back to life. And now he's supposed to, then he left the people, and now he's supposed to return back at the end of the age in order to collect his people. Sounds very Jesus-like. Then there are others like Tammuz. Tammuz is from the ancient Sumerian religion, also Akkadian or Assyrian, where he died. His wife, Ishtar, went down and pleaded to Atalu for him, and then he was allowed to come back and to be her husband again. And this is also how they explain spring, because during the time frame that she was in the underworld pleading with Atalu, there was droughts, and the plants wouldn't grow, and so on and so forth. And so Tammuz would be another one. Then there's Adonis, and then there's Atticus, and then there's Dionysus. Dionysus is a little bit different, because Dionysus died at birth, and then Zeus put him in his thigh, and then allowed him to grow back again and become this revived savior type who changed water into wine. There's Zagreus, and there is also Satayana. Satayana is actually from the Indus religion, where there was a similar situation that was similar to Tammuz's, where he was promised to be married to Satitri, and Satitri, and I'm playing that name wrong, went down to the underworld, pleaded for him, said that he was supposed to give her a child. The underworld god was like, sure, but because she was pleading and said he's supposed to give me a child and he's supposed to be my husband, he did not return. So Satayana remained alive, so he was brought back. Then in modern day religions of the Buddhist tradition, there is the Bodhidharma. The Bodhidharma supposedly died. Everybody knew he was dead. And then a monk said that, no, I've seen him alive. I'm an eyewitness to it. And they grabbed him and threw him in jail for blasphemy and he said, no, I seen him and he only had one shoe. And so when they opened up the casket, they saw that the Bodhidharma had only one shoe in the casket. So he must have risen again, and they freed the monk because Bodhidharma was alive. And then for all of my people who love Odin, and one guy in particular, there is the story, and understand that the story is not just a Norse story, but it's also a Germanic story, meaning the people in Germany and France during the time frame of 2nd century, they believe that Woden, or Odin, and also known as Wotan, that Odin slash Odin died, he hung himself on a tree seeking this wisdom of the runes. And when he hung himself on a tree, he was pierced in his side. And when his other gods wanted to help him, he said, no. And he remained there for 9 days until he died. And then when he died, the magic and the teachings of the runes came to him, and Odin was revived and became the god of gods on the Yggdrasil tree. Now, he was already the god of gods, so let me not say that part. And he gained this extra divine wisdom to be able to be the supreme ultimate God. So this idea that there are no dying gods or messiahs is nothing more than a fabrication. You can even look at how Muhammad did, but it's supposed to return back and lead at the end of days to collect the people who have followed the teachings of Allah. So these Christian apologists like to get up here and make up these types of lies. And he sounds like the type of person who does the young earth theory, since he's saying that dinosaurs don't exist. And we have more proof of dinosaurs than we do of Jesus. So let that sink in for a minute. And if you're following me on TikTok, since it's going to end, come on over to my YouTube page of Deconstructing Christianity at Coach Renth 33 on YouTube. Y'all have a great day, and remember always, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.